Hi children, welcome back to English class. I'm Sabida Joseph, your English teacher. Children, I hope you all are safe and healthy. Today let us learn a new poem from our second semester textbook. Before that, let me ask you one question. Children, can we live without water? No. We know that water is that much precious. Nobody can live or survive without water. Not only human beings, but animals, plants, and nothing can survive without water. Water is that much important for this world. Am I right? Yes. Children, from where we get water? What are the major sources of water? We get water from rain, from pond, from well, from sea, and another important source of water is river, isn't it? Yes. River is the most important source of water. The river teaches many things, isn't it? What is the most important teaching of a river? Whatever is happening around you, you just flow to your own destination. If there are many obstacles may come, you just turn and twist like the river water. And finally, you can reach your destination. That is the most important teaching of a river. So today, let us learn a new poem, that is The River by Valerie Bloom. Valerie Bloom was born in Jamaica and moved to England in 1979. She writes novels and poetry for all ages. She writes poetry in English and Jamaican patois. Her performance of her own poetry is very popular. The river. The river is a wanderer, a nomad, a tramp. He doesn't choose one place to set up his camp. The river's a winder, through valley and hill. He twists and he turns, he just cannot be still. The river's a hoarder, and he buries down deep those little treasures that he wants to keep. The river's a baby, he gurgles and hums, and sounds like he's happily sucking his thumbs. The river's a singer, as he dances along, the countryside echoes the notes of his song. The river's a monster, hungry and vexed. He's gobbled up trees and he'll swallow you next. Now I'll explain the poem, okay? The River by Valerie Bloom. The river's a wanderer, a nomad, a tramp. He doesn't choose one place to set up his camp. Here the poet perceives or imagines this river as a human being. She says the river is a wanderer. The river is a wanderer. What do you mean by wanderer? It means river is someone who travels without a reason or without any aim. Here the river is like a wanderer, which means river is someone who travels from one place to another place without any aim, without any reason. It travels, isn't it? The river travels from one place to, it flows from one place to another place without any reason. And poet says it is a nomad. What do you mean by nomad? Nomad means someone who does not like to live in one place. Poet says the river as a person, it does not like to live in one place. It always travels. And she says the river is a tramp. What do you mean by tramp? Tramp means someone who travels from town to town on foot. Here, poet says the river is a tramp also. That is someone who travels from town to town on his foot. You see, the river travels travel through different places, like a tramp. So here, poet compares or perceives the river as a wanderer, a nomad, and a tramp. He doesn't choose one place to set up his camp. Yes, the river is not set up its own camp, or it's never stop. It always flowing. Okay, let us move on to the second stanza. The river's a winder through valley and hill. He twists and he turns. He just cannot be still. Here, poet says that the river is a winder. What do you mean by winder? In this poem, winder means the river is not straight, it bends as it flows. The river is not move straight, it bends as it flows. Isn't it? You know how river flows? It flows like this, isn't it? So it is not straight, it bends as it flows. And through valley and hill, he twists and he turns. He just cannot be still. So poet says that this river cannot be still. Still means not moving. The river cannot stop, or it cannot be still. It turn and twist through the valley and hill. If there is any obstacles like rock or any parts of trees are there in the river, what it does? He turn and twist through the obstacles, and it flow through the valleys and hills. Let us move on to the third stanza. The river's a hoarder, and he buries down deep those little treasures that he wants to keep. In the third stanza, poet perceives this river as a hoarder. What do you mean by hoarder? Hoarder means someone who collects or saves many things. Here, the poet perceives the river as a hoarder. Whatever he gets, he collects it. Here it says, he buries down deep those little treasures that he wants to keep. You know, there are different living things underwater. There are beautiful stones and minerals. Sometimes they might be treasures also. Okay, so whatever the river gets, it captures it and it buries deep down little treasures what he gets. Okay, so like that, this river is a hoarder. Whatever he gets, he collect it, he save it. Okay, that is why poet described this river as a hoarder. Let us move on to the fourth stanza. The river's a baby. He gurgles and hums and sounds like he's happily sucking his thumbs. In this fourth stanza, poet describes this river as a baby. He gurgles and hums. Here he means he is the river. Okay, the river gurgles and hums. What do you mean by gurgles? Gurgles means the sound made by running water or baby. Here the poet compares the baby sound with running water in the river. Okay. He gurgles and hums. Gurgles and hums are the sound made by babies. Okay. And sounds like he is happily sucking his thumbs. So here poet compares or he describes this river to a baby. He says that the river is happy like a baby. How a baby sucking his thumbs and making sound, just like that, this river is also making such gurgling sounds, humming sounds like a baby, and the river is happy. Okay, so in this stanza, poet described the river as a happy baby. Okay, let us move on to the fifth stanza. The river's a singer as he dances along. The countryside echoes the notes of his song. In this stanza, poet described this river as a singer. And poet says that As he dances along, the countryside echoes the notes of his song. What do you mean by countryside? Countryside is the rural area. This river moving through the rural area. When this river dancing, which means when the river moves, it's just like dancing. When it dances, the countryside echoes with the notes of a song. The rural area echoes with the sound, echoes with this river's sound. It's just like a beautiful song. So that is why the poet says that the river is a singer and a dancer too. Okay, let us move on to the next stanza. The river's a monster, hungry and vexed. He's gobbled up trees and he'll swallow you next. So in this stanza, the poet described this river as a monster. The river is a monster, hungry and vexed. What do you mean by vexed? Vexed means irritated or worried. Here poet says that this river is hungry and it is irritated and worried just like a monster. It can come like a monster. He's gobbled up trees. What do you mean by gobbled up? Gobbled up means eaten a large amount of something very quickly. The poet says that it can gobbled up trees. It can eat these trees quickly. We know when a flood comes, it can cause distraction. It can destroy everything. It can gobbled up trees. It can gobbled up our house. Everything, isn't it? Yes, we know that. We experienced it. We witnessed it. Yes, and he will swallow you next. So poet says that he will swallow you next. What do you mean by swallow? Swallow means take in and cause to disappear. So poet says that it will swallow you next. It will take you and you will disappear from this earth. So this river has a power of a monster also. It will destroy everything. That much power a river has. So here we saw another phase of a river. At the beginning of the poem, we saw the beautiful river. By the end of the poem, we saw the destruction power of a river. Poetess says the river is a wanderer, that he travels without a reason. He is a nomad. He moves from place to place and has no fixed home. And the river is a tramp. He travels from town to town on foot. The river is a winder. It is not straight, it bends as it flows. The river is a hoarder. He collects or saves many things. The river is a harmless, happy baby. The river is a beautiful singer. The river is like a monster. He is hungry and irritated. It swallows everything. So these are the different phases of a river. So I hope you all enjoyed this poem. What is the main theme of this poem? Yes, river is beautiful, calm, but it is capable of causing destruction also. We should not make them angry. We should save them. We should protect them. Okay, so I hope you all understood this poem. Recite the poem loudly in your house. We'll meet tomorrow and we'll discuss the question and answer. Until then, take care and bye.